got most of the best items you can unlock in Black Myth Wukong in a single playthrough. Some crazy tactics you can do with them, like bosses stand no chance. Yes, this includes a mythical spirit, the best Gourd, and way more. Let's start with a crazy transformation that you might have already, but I got a very good trick with it to make it even better. So from the Mahavira Hall Shrine at the end of chapter 3, just walk like this and then go left. You can take out these enemies or ignore them, but basically you want to go to the end, then head right and turn around. If you go like this, the monk from the sea will spawn, and if you take it out, you get the transformation, and this one is very crazy. In snow areas, you will namely throw these snowballs to enemies, which can freeze them in place as well. And by applying freeze, you build up these bars, and if one of them is full, you can do the powerful ice sheet attack that deals damage to surrounding enemies. Now, the more bars you have, the stronger the attack, and well, what you can do is enter this form with 3 focus points, and then you immediately have the 3 bars. So then when transformed, you can immediately do this super powerful ice explosion that will very likely freeze the enemy, including bosses. If not though, you can now throw snowballs because snow suddenly appeared on the ground and they can freeze them with that or do quite some damage. You can throw a big snowball with a heavy attack, so make sure you have the 3 focus points and then transform during a tough encounter into the Monk of the Sea, and you get a ton of damage done. It's really good. And it's now part of a crazy tactic I came up with. For this you also want the Baba Long Spirit. Yes, the only mythical spirit you can get in the game. By activating this, you transform into 1 of 5 random frogs who deals a ton of damage in their particular element. So you can freeze the enemy or apply poison or burn for some nice damage over time. It's really strong, and in my combo I am now able to use this spirit a couple of times during an encounter. So after the frog, I immobilize the target, deal some extra damage, and then use the plantain van that you get at the end of chapter 5 as part of the main story. This stun locks the boss, so you can use the mobile spin to very quickly get chi back, and then when the effect likely wears off, you are immediately able to use the frog spirit again. You'll now also have a lot of focus, so you can use a strong heavy attack to finish the job, or transform into the monk from the sea and immediately do the ice sheet attack to also freeze the target, deal way more damage, finish them off. It's a really strong combo and can be used in combination with any weapon or armor set. Now, there are multiple steps to getting the mythical version of the frog spirit. You namely need to find and kill all the 6 frogs and then do something else. So in chapter 1, go from the snake trail, jump in the water, just follow it to get to the boss arena. Taking this one out also gives you the spirit that we need to upgrade. So in chapter 2, from the Sandgate village entrance shrine, you want to head inside here and then simply jump down into the water for the 2nd frog. In chapter 3, it's from the Vorest Felicity Shrine, kinda sneaky, so run under the torii and then go left through this small path, and then head left again to reach the boss arena with the frog. In chapter 4, you find the frog in the webbed hollow, and then the lower hollow. Run past the web sacks, and then head left here, through the crack, run, head left, and just continue. Head right eventually, and then you jump down into the water, where you will encounter the frog. To fight the frog in chapter 5, you need to have unlocked the secret area for chapter 5, so I've done the bull quest where you've taken out all the cards. This is also needed for the amazing iron bull armor, so if you need a step-by-step guide to get to the secret area of chapter 5, check out that armor video. I will leave a link to it in the video description. Then the frog is from the Cooling Slope Shrine, so close to the secret area, simply head inside, and then on your left hand side you will find the boss. And from the Verdant Path Shrine in chapter 6, it's very early in that chapter, just go straight like this and simply all the way to the right to find the boss arena for the final frog. Now, the frog will have a rock skin, but you can remove this with the before mentioned plantain van that you will have at this point. When it comes back, you can always wait a bit because the skin will go to normal after some time. And then after taking out all the frogs, you will have all the materials you need to upgrade the regular frog spirit to the mythical one and get the best spirit in the game. And from the chapter 6 frog, you also get the amazing celestial birthstone down fragment, which lets you ignore the fire, poison, freeze and shock resistance from enemies, which amazing in combination with the spirit, of course. And by the way, I have way more amazing curios to go over, also an insane will and XP farm. Of course, if you like the video so far, leave a like, that would really help me out, and subscribe for way more Black Myth Wukong content like this. I looked into all the gourds and it's pretty clear to me what the best one is. Like relatively early on in the game, you can from the mindfulness cliff in chapter 3 jump down here and then just run straight to a chest to get the fiery gourd. This gives you chill immunity, which comes in handy during this chapter, and also a bit of extra stamina for a short duration. Like this can overall be nice over the regular gourd. Later on in the game, after defeating the optional boss, the Scorpion Lord, you can get the Stained Jade Gourd that massively increases the drinking speed, and it is really handy during hectic boss fights. I've been using this quite a lot. Talked about it many times before, but if you don't know how to reach the chapter 4 secret area, check the final timestamp of the game-changing unlocks video, also a link to that in the video description. Still, the mythical Supreme Gourd, as the name suggests, is the best in the game. For this, you need to fully upgrade your gourd first by finding enough Luya fragrant vines. I will leave a guide also to that in the video description, so you can easily find all of them, with the final ones being in chapter 5. After fully upgrading the gourd at the monkey in the hub area or in chapter 1, you can from the Rakshasa Palace Shrine in chapter 5 that you cannot miss, run up the stairs like this, cross the bridge, head right, and then eventually head left inside this building. Here we'll find an old man, talk to him a couple of times, and they can claim the Supreme Gourd that holds 10 sips from the campfire nearby. Again, 10 is going to make the rest of the game way more manageable. But if you want a bit more of a boost, then doing a special will and XP farm will totally help. I got many ways to make it better. First, you will need the Ashen Slumber transformation. It has a pretty good flamethrower, but also a self-destruct when you exit the transformation, and we want to use that for the will and XP farm. So to get it in chapter 2 early on from the Sandgate village entrance shrine, if you go like this, you will encounter the rat with the 2 heads. Like it's walking around here, you cannot really miss it. After taking it out, run to the house that is nearby, so all the way in the back of this area, talk to the person in the house until he says the same thing. And then in chapter 3, you want to go to the Upper Pagoda Shrine. Jump down here, take out this boss if you haven't already, and then go to the Lower Pagoda Shrine. Run all the way back to the cell in the back. Now here you find a dead body of the 2-headed red guy and can claim the transformation, but if you, like me, had already done the spear side mission I told you about in a previous video, then you want to go from the Upper Pagoda Shrine, continue like this, run, then go down the stairs, and at the end of this corridor a cutscene will play and you can fight the boss, take it out, and then the transformation is also yours. Now for the XP and will farm, go like this in chapter 4 to the Upper Hollow Shrine, then make your way like this, jump down. If you now go through this cave, you will reach the Pools of the Shattered Jade Shrine. Now go right, and then before this, web sack, transform into the Ashen Slumber and immediately trigger the self-destruct. If your staff has 75 attack power or more, or if you've upgraded the transformation, the enemies will instantly die and you will see the XP and will come in. Now simply run back to the shrine or use the talisman and rinse and repeat, but again, there are ways to make it go even faster. If you got the deluxe edition armor set, equip it, then you get more will. There's also a Curio that gives you more will. You can buy that from the Man in Stone shop from the Squall Hideout Shrine in chapter 2. Of course, you need to have completed the Mothers of Stone boss close by. And then he becomes a shop where you can buy many things, including the Gold Flora hairpin that increases will gain by 8.5%, and that totally adds up when doing this tactic. In the secret area of chapter 4 I mentioned earlier, very close to the Petalfall Hamlet Shrine, simply run like this. If you missed it, take out the enemy and you find a chest here. And this gives you extra XP gains. Normally you get 105, with this Curio 115 per web sack. So that totally adds up. But there are way more very nice curios that I want to touch on. One is called the Gold Spike Plate that you can find from the Longevity Road Shrine in chapter 3. Simply go like this, and then you will encounter one of these larger enemies. Take it out, and when you do, you get this item that gives 32 more defense, which is already quite a lot. And also enemies now take damage when they hit you. It's not a lot, but it can be quite nice against challenging encounters. And again, that 32 defense will come in handy as well. Another really nice curio can also easily be missed from the height of Ember Shrine. Simply run straight through this door that you will have opened to continue in chapter 5. Now once you've entered the cave, you want to look out for an opening on your right hand side where you find the chest. So the Ember Pear beads increase the speed of building up focus points, which amazing in combination with the mobile spin skill and the focused spinning, like you really notice the difference. Another curio can also be found in chapter 5 from the Emerald Hall Shrine. You will also eventually get to this. If you run back, you will find these enormous enemies that drop the gold button. I got it from the first one I killed, and this increases my attack by 15 when full health. And that's more than what you normally increase in terms of attack when getting a new weapon. So this one is really, really good. If you found any strong items I missed, drop it in the comments. And you, by the way, saw a mana glitch that sadly got removed. I told you about it in the update video. Like, if you're not familiar, if you want to be up to date, subscribe to not miss anything Black Myth Wukong. A like would really help me out. And check out our previous video with some amazing best weapons you can miss. You can watch that by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.